Hello, hello, everybody. We are going to get started momentarily once people start to filter in. Say hello in the chat, and as always, I will say hi back. Maybe I'll be the first person. Yes, I am. All right. Just another live UI UX review show. Derek, hello. Robert O, sworn enemy of the North. Let's go. All right. Ramesh Lowe, Tyler, Omcard, Coding, Viney, Nohan, Sadi, Salman, hello, Karmaker. We've got a lot of people. There's a sound echo. Oh, crap. Are you serious? Shoot. I've been having issues with my audio, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fix it. Hold on a second. Testing. Test. Oh, I do hear it. All right. Let's try to see if we can fix this. How about now? Now, test. Did I fix it? Did I fix it? Test. Oh, Christ. You have to be kidding me. Channel mixer. Testing. How about now? Testing. All right, testing. I'm probably only coming in on one of the speakers now. It's still an echo, but just in one speaker. So wait, am I coming in on both speakers, left and right? Yeah, it's not gonna get fixed. Fortunately, I have a, I'm not sure, it's probably not a microphone issue, but I do have a new microphone coming tomorrow. Well, whatever. I mean, we kind of want to, does this work? Did this help, I know? I mean, I hate computers. All right, well, we're just going to go ahead and screw it, you know? You're just going to have to deal with an echo. All right. There's worse things in life. It's a first world problem, right? All right. Okay. Well, I have my speakers are completely turned off, and that's, you know, usually what the problem would be, but this, for some reason, I have no clue. All right. How can a coder not be able to use a PC? Screw off. All right. I mean, again, let me check out one second real quick. What do I use? I use a Focusrite. Ah, that's funny. My audio interface control panel says there's no hardware connected. What the hell is that about? All right, one second. I'm gonna try to like unplug it and then plug it back in because that's, yeah, my first defense. All right, testing. I know you can't hear me. One second. Wait, yeah, you can. Can you hear me? Testing now. All right. We're just going to go ahead and continue. All right. All right. So today we need to get to our sponsor, who is sponsoring this stream, the previous stream, and the next 2 streams. All right. And so unplugging it did work. And that is Porkbun. So if you click on the top link in the description here, you will see that you can grab a free .design domain name right here, where you could showcase your designs if you're a designer. And if you're watching this, you probably are. You can't grab an offer anywhere else quite like this. So a free design domain of your choice also comes with a free Who Is Privacy, free SSL certificate, a free hosting and email trial. All right, so they also offer completely free WordPress hosting and static hosting options as well. So definitely take advantage of this offer by clicking the top link in the description. So today we're going to be doing a live UI UX review as normally, and basically you submit your designs, preferably a UI design of some sort. Either, I do like when they're in the browser already working, but you can also submit, Figma prototypes and Adobe XD prototypes and whatever else. And I will go ahead and give you my opinion and then rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, along with the chat. The chat will get involved as well. All right, so let's go ahead and stop screwing around with technical difficulties. We got that one fixed, and let's get started with the very first one. All right. Some people are telling me the echo is fixed, and some people are telling me it still exists. Whatever. All right. This is the very first one, and this is from Sen, something like that. Okay. Oh, thanks a lot. Jesus. WebWise. All right, let's see. I did get 8.5 hours of sleep, so I should be good to go. All right, there's a lot of empty space here. Looking smart on the web, what we do. Developing a project that takes your company on top. All right. So I would say it's just too empty, especially at this resolution. If I drag this in, it's probably going to look, well, it still kind of suffers from that issue. If you want to keep it real simple like this, I think, with your current existing elements, just make these over here larger to take up more of the space on this viewport, because there's just too much empty white space, and it could definitely be improved. Let's go ahead and let's click on View Portfolio, see what happens there. All right. I'm not too sure about this big blue border being behind there. What I would do is probably just take this and make the color that, because otherwise it's just, or actually make it this gray color. Don't have a background behind the title because it's just, it's taking too much attention away. It almost looks like a huge button. You want people focused on the thumbnails, not up here with this high contrasting blue color that you had. So this is what that looked like before, and it just looks, it's just like it's like a big old button. It takes too much attention from the eye. Coming back to the home page, we'll look here real quickly. Yeah, same thing with this. Get rid of that blue background. There's not enough separation or visual hierarchy between your topography here. It looks like this is a button. This should probably be blue by default, not require a hover, because then it will separate itself more from the other type. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you all think this person deserves for a rating? I'll let you know in a few seconds. Ghost Blaze, thank you for the super chat. But yeah, maybe I slept so much I just look sleepy. All right. All right, a lot of people are saying like 4 and 5. I think it's definitely better than a 4, and even more than a 5. So I'm going to say for this one, just a flat out. Areas that need improved. What else? Let's see. Who is next? Right here. Figma. All right. All right. No way. I'm never just nice for the sake of being nice. I'm always honest about what I think about ratings. Okay. All right. This is like an interesting modern sort of UI, or an interesting layout at least. Using columns here. I'm not too sure about this fade right here, because it makes me feel like it's too much of a fade. It would be nicer if like this black was just continued all the way down. But still, I like this for the most part. I'm not sure about the type. It just seems like an Arial font or something like that. But as far as the photograph in the background, this section right here, everything here is pretty solid. So let's click on products. Okay, so none of them seem to do anything. They don't take you anywhere. It's just this page here. So with that said, this is pretty solid. So what do you guys think just for this initial landing page? What should this person get as a rating? Oh, I skipped one? All right, well, I'll check it. No, I mean, if this was realized in the browser and it had nice animation, it'd definitely be higher than like a 6, that's for sure. For what this is, I'm going to give this a... So I skipped one? Oh, I did. The orange triangle. Sorry about that. Orange. Well, okay, there was a super chat. I'll get to that super chat once I get to the person I skipped. All right. All right. We have a number of issues here. Okay, so the biggest issue, if you were just to take a step back, a macro perspective level of what's happening here in this UI, I would say it's a big lack of visual hierarchy. You're not really sure where you should look first. You have this section right here, a headline here and a headline here styled exactly the same. And you're just not sure, you know, where should I be looking at? It doesn't seem like there's one element that really sticks out as being the one element you want a person to see or to read first. That's the biggest problem. Like I would improve this immediately if I just went to, oops, hitting the wrong key. And I just deleted this. We've just improved this design a little bit or quite a bit just by removing that piece. But because that exists, like what is happening here? There's also some issues with your alignment and a little bit of clutter. Strengthen up your angles by taking awesome courses. Those are so far apart, yet they're kind of semantically like in the same, you know, idea. Like this should be like the headline, and this should be the sub headline, but you've tucked it into the navigation. So completely get rid of those two things and instead use that copy for a headline. Now, just encasing your headline in this orange rectangle doesn't look good. It almost makes it look like a banner. You don't want people thinking that your main headline looks like a banner because they'll just glaze over it because we've been trained not to look at banners. So yeah, definitely I would fix that. Learn web development, learn app development, and these titles need fixed big time. They're also really spaced far out just because of the width of the browser. You're going to want to fix that because when you get people who are maximizing, you know, on a 4K resolution, it's not going to look very good and everything's real separated out. So you can achieve that with your CSS by keeping them into a confined container at a certain viewport. You're going to want to work on your card design. Also, layouts kind of screw it up here. You have like a big empty open space here where you could have had three columns per row. So definitely go to Google, you know, type in card design, or go to Dribble, type in card design, and just get ideas for inspiration because these could definitely be improved big time. All right, so 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, what do you think this person should get for a rating? Let's see if it's responsive. Oh, it is. To a certain extent. You have this issue. It's called cluttered up there. All right, for me, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a rating of... just about a 4. All right, keep on keeping on. So we had somebody who did send in a super chat. Let's copy that. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get to it. All right, so we have some animation, so I will refresh. All right, let's check it out. All right, so looking at that animation alone, I think it's the animation's occurring too quickly between this animation at the top and right here. It feels like this animation should come in first, all this stuff plus the picture, and then this stuff. And you could do that really quick, like within a second. But at the same, these are coming in, it starts here, and then this stuff it's just like a little bit too much happening in terms of the animation simultaneously between the various elements. Outside of that, the logo here, this is not bad. This section, I think one issue this is suffering from slightly is probably a lack of vertical white space between your elements. I think if you push things out a little bit better, a little bit more, you would probably do better. So if let's see if we could do a margin top here. All right, so like 1M unit there, and then you take the button and we'll do a margin bottom of like 80 pixels instead of 40. That kind of throws this off though. You could maybe just increase the size of your picture that you're using here, but now at least we have more room that frames this middle section, this important stuff right here a little bit better. And then I would do the same thing right here, increase more white space here on the top, especially to match what's here at the bottom. And then it would have a little bit more room or more air to breathe. That's kind of how I like referencing that. Works. All right, so we have scroll-based animation. So where it says works, do they look similar? These are styled really very similar. This one's a little bit, higher contrast. It's lighter, but in terms of the size, they're both the same. So you need to figure out which one, I mean, I would personally, just looking at the content and the ad copy, just get rid of this. Make this white so it stands out a lot more, especially from the type beneath it. There we go. That looks better. And now this is a much better section. It's less cluttered. This right here looks almost like a... Yeah, so when it comes to using thumbnails for your portfolio projects, try to avoid showing type in them, because if you have type on top where it says first portfolio and your button, it makes it almost look like it's a part of the design. It makes it very cluttered looking. So I would try to avoid showing type in your thumbnails and try to figure out a different way to go about that. Same thing right here. We have Amazon clone, but we have all this other type. It just makes it look really busy and cluttered. This part down here, again, not too bad. I like the colors overall, this nice desaturated bluish gray. Nice color separation here in this area. Just a few small things. What do you think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I'm glad he chose not to put a hamburger menu because he simply did not need it. He only has 3 links here. So you don't need, by default, a hamburger menu. So for me, I'm going to give this one, I like these cards here as well. These are cards, I like the icons. I think this one is just a straight up Okay, let us continue. Let me make sure I didn't get any other super chats. Where's my super chat information? Stream settings, viewer activity. All right. Oh yeah, Lazy 07 or Lazy 07. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Thank you for the super chat. Right here. Okay. By the way, does anybody else think I look sickly right now or tired? Maybe it's the new hairdo or whatever. I'm growing my hair out to be like a rocker, so it's in this weird in-between phase. Maybe does my hair make my butt look big? All right. Let's refresh this and check this out. Okay. I like the creativity. It's nice to be creative, you know, especially if you're in a creative field, right? Which if you're a designer of any sort, you are a creative. But I'm not too sure about having this hello, I'm, and then this, you know, this text that's really separated here. It's just because there's a lot of high contrast stuff happening behind the text, like this blue and the way it contrasts with this pinkish background color kind of makes it hard to see. I might want to try to change this background color here to make it a little bit darker so that the blue stands out more, or just change the color of the shirt so it contrasts more so. And then I would probably also just take hello, I'm, this part, and left align the text, don't center it, and then push it over here to the side, and then push this guy over here to the right. And then that way there's no clutter issues happening here in this area. So, and also I see this type is obviously like a script font of some sort. Might be a tad bit hard to see. Yeah, excuse me. Let's continue on. And also there is no call to action. So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Some people may not know that they need to scroll down. There's only a home link up here, which may be an issue. So think about that. Now let's go ahead and scroll down. All right, so what I do, if you're gonna have a headline like this and you have similarly designed subtitles like in these areas, these little titles, these labels, even though this is definitely bigger, you wanna separate those more out on another property such as color. So making this black further separates it out more so than these titles right here. When it comes to bolding things in your type, I see you have a lot of different things that are bolded, and when you do that, it does have a tendency to make things a little bit cluttered visually within your typography. One thing also, I would put a maximum width here, or just put a lot of padding, because when you get into the larger viewports on all that width, it makes it hard to read because you have to scan vertically quite a bit. So like if we put padding here, 0.3 M units, let's try 4, maybe 5 M units, and then line height, you need more line height as well. Let's see here, what is going on in that chat? I'm trying to focus on this and everybody's talking about somebody being racist and all that. I'll go ahead and mute him. Actually, let's just there, hidden. Okay. So yeah, you want to condense those things as much as possible, and especially even more so when you get out here. Even this is way too wide on that the one underneath here in this section. All right, and so let's go ahead, scroll down, just check out more of these areas. I'd probably get rid of I do see you have a soft, like a very soft, like especially here on the call to action, this box shadow, it just kind of makes it look blurry. And I would opt honestly just to remove that. So if we take, where's the shadow being applied here? Background color, blah, 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 filter. Yeah, look how much better that looks. Just crisp and nice, and it works well. Also, I'm not too sure about the hover-based, transform adjustment here based on the mouse settings. You really can't go wrong just by omitting those sorts of things. I don't think it adds anything that is worthwhile to the user experience. And then over here, like you're going to want to, again, you're going to want to get a container, a fixed container at a certain width. And this is definitely, it probably should occur like right around here. And then when I extend out, it should still stay the same width between the two columns. All right. Now this right here is just too much, way too much here. It's just overloading of icons. And so I would really try to rethink this in order to simplify it more so, because you don't want this massive wall of icons. It becomes it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Overwhelms the visitor. So think about how you can restructure this so you don't have so many icons. At a certain point, you can just start listing just text only. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think this person should get for a rating? So people are saying 4, 5, 9. Are you sure that's not you who submitted this? There are some things happening right here, but also some things that could definitely have improvement. For me, this is just going to be a straight up, probably, yeah. The next person. All right. Were there any more? Okay, no. Now we're going to go back to the regular, non-super chatted submitted designs. I think this is the next person. Yes. Oh, look who that is. See, when you're cool enough, you get to talk to cool people like Kevin Powell in your Discord server through private messages. Aren't you so jealous? All right. Let's see. I like the logo. Yeah, definitely like the logo. This navigation being right here is definitely fine. Over here though, I'm not too certain about having these vibrant logos for social media icons right next to this vibrant color. So I would probably, if you're going to keep your social media icons up here, first of all, I would come over here. You don't need to encase those, in my opinion, in that background. Those must be on the list items, or where are those at? Where's the background color there? Can I just change it here to white? There we go. So now we've got rid of the background container, and then maybe just make these line-based icons and make them like black or dark gray. And then that way they don't compete so much for attention with this little graphic right here. Let's see. Next up, I like this type right here. This is good. This is pretty good as well, and there's a good call to action here. All right. One thing about the type I don't really quite like, it looks like you have letter spacing applied here. That looks better. Just get rid of that weird letter spacing that you had. For me, it reads a lot better. Let's do English here. So that's a big improvement already, in my opinion. I like the subtle, the hover right here. You're very subtly changing the background color. I think that works just fine. It's not too jarring. Contact. All right, test. Okay, look, we're using, yeah, this is all fine. I probably wouldn't include a placeholder value when you already have a label. And plus, this is something, these are names. People already know how to enter their name. They already know how to enter an email. They know exactly what an email looks like. So you don't have to put the placeholder values, in my opinion. So this is, yeah, this is all pretty solid, actually. So let's check out. Yeah, it is responsive. Looks pretty good. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What would you consider? The rating. Yeah, Kevin and I should do some sort of collab or something. I think his niche really is CSS and structuring layouts, and mine's a little bit more, even though I do that as well, UI, UX design. So there could be a potential for something in the future, perhaps. All right. For me, I really like the colors here. This is solid. Yeah, for what this is, I'm going to go ahead and give this a... wrong. Sorry for interrupting, but you skipped my design. Okay, well, let's check. I guess I'm making a habit of that for some reason. Did I? No, I didn't skip that. It was after Orange Triangle. Yeah, I already did this one. I did this one. So if you weren't around when I rated this, the video will be available about like 30 minutes after the live stream ends. Oh my God. We're going to have to put the user in a timeout here. He keeps on saying that. Oh, my audio is cutting out. That sucks. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Next up. Who is next? We just did that one. All right. URL shortener. Okay. Big issues here. Definitely some big issues. Just because if you're going to have this tiny amount, kind of like a Google homepage, you know, this tiny amount of content, and you have a single pretty much call to action, you need to use your space as much as possible. Let's see what Google does. So if we go to google.com, oh, I don't want to go to Gmail. Jesus, I hate the autofill. What is, see, I can't even get to google.com. What is happening? Seriously. Ugh. Well, this is a good example. This page right here, this login, there's not much happening here. So what do? They center it horizontally and vertically. That's what you need to do. This is also just push. It's centered horizontally, but vertically it's not. So you need to put that in. Center this. It's going to make it look so much better if you would just do that. No, I'm not hacked. It's just a stupid auto completion of Google Chrome. And then, you know, I don't understand what this is. This is styled the same. Like this background right here should be styled differently than the main container for your call to action. So where's the background? Where's the background color here? None. There we go. There we go. So now in this area, if we do height, 100 viewport height, well, I'm not going to try to screw around with this CSS grid, but we should place content center here. So this is in the center. And just make it bigger. I mean, this is tiny, and there's not much white space between these three elements. So there's a lot to improve here, even though there's not much happening. So yeah, let's go ahead and do a rating for this. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. This is even, what is this? It's trying to install something. No, thank you. Yeah, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm always going live for like an hour. So with that said, how long have I been going? I'm at 34 minutes already. Wow. Right, it's a PWA. All right. Yeah, for what this is, you know, a lot of people are going to want to rate this really low just because there's not much happening here. But there's really, I'm going to give this, let me think here. Oops, did I cut out again? Yeah, I'm going to rate this, like I said, like a 4.5. Just because there's not major issues in terms of like readability and usability. It's just like this layout thing needs to be improved a little bit more. All right, next up, make sure nobody else super chatted. Okay, they did not. Right here is the next one. All right, let's refresh that. There was some animation. All right, what's the biggest issue here? I would definitely say it's an issue of visual hierarchy, which it's not the scale that's the problem, because these are all separated out in the scale pretty well, but it's color. So I think this would be greatly improved if you changed out the color of some of these, like this, for instance, could be that could be white. You know, there's a lot of options that would work. This is already improved drastically because we've changed just one color, really. If you refresh this, you go back, and now it's all the same. It just kind of makes it hard to follow, especially, okay, so let's just click on English. Scroll down. I would make this animate a little bit and maybe actually have a down icon just to give it some context. Work about contact. All right, so this is not a good idea in my opinion. The work about contact should be up here in the navigation, somewhere that's immediately accessible and not down here. Because it makes people scroll down, they want to see something of substance, not a navigation, right? So you're requiring 2 steps just to get to your work. So the first step is you're making me scroll down a lot, and the second step is you're making me click on works. So it doesn't make sense from a navigation in user experience perspective. So all this stuff should be right when you scroll down. This should be in here. These are my projects from 2020 to now. Yeah, I think we should just definitely, you know, make this white to separate it from the text, or leave it green and then just make this text, you know, like a white. And then that text would be white here as well. And then it would just, it would definitely help the flow of the layout. What can I do? These should be separated visually in one way or other, either through scale or color, because these just kind of run into each other and they're styled too similar, even though they're different fonts. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? I mean, this initial section actually has potential, especially if you put it in like a real dark, barely visible sort of photograph in the background of like a keyboard or something that relates to your profession. For me, I'm going to go ahead and rate this because this is a big issue. Yeah, I'm going to rate this like a, man, I want to go 6.2. You know what? I'm going to stop overlaying that graphic because apparently my microphone's going out when I do that. All right, thank you for the submission. Let us keep on going. Oh, yeah, it would definitely be worth putting in or mentioning the sponsor for this stream, as well as other live streams coming up, the next 2 at least. So we're going to be doing a live stream next week and the week after around the same time, either Friday or Saturday like today. And that is Porkbun. And so you can get a free .design domain name, a design domain, by clicking on the top link in the description here on YouTube. And basically, a free .design domain name of your choice also comes with a free Whois Privacy SSL certificate, a free hosting and email trial as well. And they also offer completely free WordPress hosting and static hosting options. So very good bundle. Yes, it does require a credit card. A lot of people like freak out when they require a credit card, but they don't actually charge you until it renews the next year. So if you still have your site's active, you're still using it, then you'll get charged the next year. But otherwise, it is free for this first year. All right, let's continue on. We got a super chat, but they didn't mention their username. So, Mr. I don't even know how to. I'm going to call you Nagar. I can't Nagarage. I have no clue. Go ahead and mention your Discord username here. All right, and then I'll be able to find you here in this chat. All right. Okay. Next up is, where am I going? Where am I going? Right here. This is my first web app. Limit of the life. Yeah, we're all dying just one day at a time, you know. We're getting closer to death. All right. However long our life seems to be, it has an elusive limit. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Well, actually, I am. We understand that deadlines are essential to beat procrastination, but what about something long-term as our life? Blah, blah, blah. All right. So the one problem here is I don't have much of a clue immediately, at least within the first few seconds of visiting this site, about what it's about. Like, what is happening here? Limit of the life doesn't tell me anything. This really doesn't tell me anything except something, you know, it relates to a limit of my life. But what is this site about, really? I mean, apparently there is, though, a call to action, but it's very understated down here. So it says, let's start from the beginning. What's your date of birth and how many years do you think you'll live? This should really be emphasized because this is the call to action. This is what you want people to actually do. You want them to enter this information and then click show the life grid. All right, so let's put mine in. So that needs to be, you know, 3D design aesthetics, that needs to be emphasized much more up here above this portion because you're going to get more activity that way. I was born July 12th, 1983. How many years do I think I'm going to live? I don't know. I mean, nobody knows that. I'm going to say 92 years. So let's show the life grid. All right. So that's a cool, you know, way to look at it. Like if I were to live 92 years, then I have a little bit more than, so I'm 40.79% of my life is used. Looking at the design of these cards over here, overall the layout's pretty good with the you know, very subtle shadows with the very light gray background and the white cards, but there could be some improvement in the topography in this area. For instance, in this section right here, it's a little bit cluttered. And I think if you really go to like Dribble and go to like card design, let me see if I can find an example because some people are quite good at taking a lot of content but separating it out visually and really establishing a good visual hierarchy with a lot of content that's like involved in cards. So like for instance, there was one up here, you know, try to really create a collage or a mood board as they're called. There's a lot of different names. Of a lot of different of these types of designs, and just by the act of observing and even recreating, not exactly like copying, you're going to develop an eye for how to try to structure out all of this content right here in a more suitable approach that'll work a little bit better. So like for instance up here, you know, you have this should be font weight bold, and I would What happened? What happened? Like, how long was that up? Was that up for like a couple minutes? Testing. You guys hear me, right? All right. So did you guys hear everything I was saying about this design? Yeah, something happened. It must have somehow inadvertently switched to that score. I mean, I was not rating it. I don't know what happened. Okay. So yeah, those are my comments about this. These should all be blue so that they can stand out more. So what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Wow, I got like a bunch of super chats here that I have to get through now. And at that, because we only have like 14 minutes left, no more super chats, please. And you know, ironically, you know, I am actually going to give a 6.5 for this. And it seems like most of you agree. All right. So we have all these super chats coming in here. Did Mr. Nag Raj, did he mention his Discord username? I'm trying to find, this is like impossible. That's why you really need to mention your Discord username with your message. You can always message me afterwards and I can give you a review or whatever after the stream ends. All right, so next up, another person. Yeah. What is happening? A lot of people, there was like 3 people who did not mention their username. And so this is it's impossible for me to find what your name is without you mentioning your Discord username. So we're just going to go to the next person who actually did, which is Bartek, I believe. All right, so let's find that. All right. All right, let's refresh this just in case there is a... Oh, they did the lowest tier. Okay. I didn't realize that. All right. Okay. I thought I did put that note, but maybe that note isn't in there. Yeah, because logically speaking, though, if you send a super chat, how am I supposed to know what your Discord username is? All right. All right, so this photograph is I mean, it's kind of weirding me out. Just because I think it's pretty large. It's really in my face. And I think it needs color, and the color needs to be dealt with. If you're going to keep it, it seems like you're too washed out and too white, if you know what I mean. It seems like the tone might be off. Although I'm not a photographer, this is just my gut reactions. I would probably change it out or make it smaller and less in my face. Outside of that, this part right here, hello, I'm Bart, I'm a front-end developer based in Oslo. I think, especially this, you know, this larger resolution that I have here, you could probably stand to make this a tad bit bigger, at least this part. Other than that, though, this is a pretty decent area for the call to action right here. I just think you're too large, too large in relation to this, taking up way too much. About me, okay, so we have some issues here. An issue of inconsistency and alignment. So in topography, so you have this interesting, you know, a little about me with this scroll thing right here, or underline, and it's left aligned. But then we have skills right here, which is everything else is centered. But this is off, to the left. Stick to one or the other, in my opinion. Everything should be left aligned or everything should be centered, because that's throwing off the flow of the design. And also, it seems like about me in my works and skills, this should be styled the same as this, or vice versa. This type is a little bit too small, in my opinion. Probably want to beef that up in size a little bit. And this is, kind of strange as well. When these were initially hidden, make those come in and animate like right when they get to the bottom, I would say. Like this see all my posts button, that needs more white space to separate itself. So I push this away from this section a lot more. Maybe style it, maybe make it bold. So there's some things happening that are good here, but there are also some things that could definitely be improved. And they're quick fixes, really, too. So that's the good thing. Also, I would probably separate these out further by taking this and like making those white. They stand out a little bit more. All right, so 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think this person should get for a rating? Let me move this over here. All right. For me, yeah, you know what? I agree. There's some things happening wrong, but overall it's pretty. So I'm going to opt to give that just a 7. No more super chats. Oh, he had to send in a second one. Somebody else sent me a private message who sent in a super chat but couldn't message, so I'm going to check that out real quickly. Hi, I am. All right. This is going way too quickly. I would change that out, honestly. And plus, this is real disconnected. Like, I'm sure if I brought this in, things would be closer, and they are. Too much white space at the top and bottom, though. But out here, you're going to want to fix that. Get a fixed width container at a certain resolution, probably like right around here. Then when I drag this out, it would just say fixed and centered in your container. Highlighted projects, and then they're all right here. Completely disconnected. They feel like two separate things, but they're not contextually. This is a label here for these 3 things. So I would rethink about how you want to apply these or lay these out. Then there's just way too much clutter happening here. Not a lot of white space in these different sections. So when you have so many of them close together, you have a lot of just clutter, and it makes it hard to follow. Also, this completely needs redone. The alignment of the type here is a big issue, especially with all the weird things you're doing in here. They have different types that's working here that's bold, and then you have the same type, but it's large and bold. Makes it hard to follow, and it's inconsistent. All right, so what does everybody think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Here's mobile. In mobile, it seems to work here. I would opt to have this on top, though, not just this random illustration. Yeah, for me, I'm going to go ahead and give this one here a 3.8. All right, let us continue. Who is next? Matana. Let's get that out of here. Oh, where did this go? There we go. Oh, that's why, because I pushed it all the way over there. Go back. All right. No more super chats, please. My portfolio section is not complete yet, but overall, looking is there. Okay. All right, next up. Yes, my wallpaper is black. Why do you have a problem with that? I like simplicity. All right. Let me translate this. All right. Okay, because you have a background here that, you know, is varying, and especially there's a lot of stuff happening in this area with the clouds. I would make these as much contrast as possible. So make these white, in my opinion, by default. That's a tiny, you know, that's a tiny gripe. Now, one issue is because of your type that you're using, if I switch to English, this gets all thrown off. Like this should be right here, starting right where the I in I'm starts, because it's just throwing me off a little bit. There's no call to action, although there is at the very bottom. Learn more about what I do. I would push that up because it gets lost. So either give them a button to click or make that scroll down indicator, you know, something that sticks out a little bit more. All right, so this isn't too bad up here. However, when we're coming down here, this emboss with these border things happening here completely have to go. I will be able to make this look a lot better if I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but remove those. And then also your how is that achieved? I forget. It's like an inset shadow. You definitely want to remove that as well, just because that's like a real old school aesthetic. When it comes to like embosses and shadows like that, you'll be able to make it look so much better without that. Finally, this list right here, I would not make those a dark background. Instead, and you also have some weird, you have three background color property. You have three background properties in your selector. So for the front end development aspect, you need to fix that. Like, so if I take this background, I would opt just to make it light. I would get rid of the box shadow, and then of course make the color darker. And that's a big improvement from what it was. I would still change things about this, but that's still a lot better than, for instance, this, in my opinion. So yeah, this isn't completed yet, but so I would just fix those things mainly. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think this person should get? Learn wants to know how to export Adobe X designs to HTML and CSS. Well, you learn HTML and CSS. That's how you do it. There's nothing that beats hand coding. All right. Yeah, so for me, I'm going to go ahead and give this a rating here of, you know, I'll say 5.8, 5.9, maybe a 6 almost, something like that. Next up is going to be, I can't resume with the normal chats until I'm done. All right, that's not good. Jack R. Kelly in Discord. You're not showing up. Oh, wait, there you are. Personal portfolio site. I don't know why you weren't showing up. All right. Continuing on. I seriously got like 10 super chats, but they've amounted in $10 total. Okay. I'm not gonna argue about that. All right. So, all right, let's refresh this and see if there's there's some slight animation. View my work way too close to this. It's gonna look a lot better if you push that down away from that area. So margin top 2M units or so. I think that looks a lot better than what it was before, like this. Also, this right here, where this JRK, the logo starts, should start right here in this context. Unless you move this in further to the right, and that way you create a real clear separation between the column that's established here and then the column that's established here. And you probably could move this in a little bit more to the right and keep those out further if you wanted to. If you can, I would separate each of these sections, like about, work, a lot more in terms of white space between each other. Because right now they're kind of cluttered in together. So more vertical white space. There's a lot of, yeah, you have a lot of big soft shadows here. I would probably opt to remove it from the thumbnail, and you can still keep it on the main card background. Because I think just having them both is a little bit too much. Yeah, and just more white space between these areas. I'll put my name here. I have floating labels at least, or actual labels, because this is a usability issue if you're only relying on placeholder values. I've talked about that about 1,000,000 times. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you all think this person should get for a rating? All right, Grow Technics, we will get that. For me, I'm going to give this one a 7.2. Yep. I think it's pretty solid. Just a few areas that could be fixed. Someone said, let's see if I can get to theirs. All right, big issue with Clutter here. This background, I mean, if you're going to use a code-based background like this, I would squash that out so much more in terms of, you know, having less contrast than even what is there now, because your type on top of it makes it hard to read. It really still does. And I would probably also opt for using a different photograph. Like if we go to unsplash.com, we type in code, you could probably get some more interesting photographs that'll work here. So definitely think about that. No call to action here. Got to have a call to action of some sort outside of your navigation. About me, this spans too long on this resolution. You're going to want to bring that in at least a few lines of text. Your skills, some people don't even know, potential, you know, employers or clients or whatever won't really know what these are in and of themselves. So I would always opt to put like a text label as well. Again, there's some issues here with your layout. Things are too close together. It's a little bit discombobulated, as it were. This section is not too bad. My work, very simple. You have a nice card here with animation. This is the best part about the design so far, in my opinion. Although you could stand to put these in two columns next to each other, make them a little bit smaller probably. Yeah, just an issue with your topography and visual hierarchy right here. These are styled exactly the same, except for text. So we can make these look a lot better if we also change the size. Like for this one, if we do font size, wait, not this one. Well, web project, I think I'm not going to be able to change the size without affecting the other one. Yeah, so like if we did, you could clearly see now we have a separation. I would have left this the same size though, or maybe a little bit larger, and make this a lot smaller though. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get for a rating? For me, I'm going to go ahead and give this a rating of just a flat out 6. Yep, for sure. Did I already do Jack R. Kelly? I think I did. I want to make sure though. Yeah, we did. Next person is, I think it's going to be the last one. Username AP. Here we go. We're already past an hour, so this is going to be our last one. All right, a lot happening here. Let's refresh. All right, enter the world of robotics. Sort of cool thing here. You know what I would do though? I would separate these two columns because there's two columns occurring here. Where is the background color? It's not letting me change it to white, unfortunately. But I would change this like to white or something, or a contrasting color right here, just to help define visually those two different columns of information. Where it says enter the world right here, you could probably make that a little bit smaller and just more white space. It's really up against the edge here. And when we're out this far, it's just like so much content to scan. The actual type here is pretty good, and you separated things out pretty well there. Special courses, again, I would opt to have some type of label underneath these in these little embossed cards. Make it the text white so that people know and there's no confusion as to what type of course this is. Scrolling down here, continuing, Android. All right, so this little sub navigation here is not too bad. Android Workshop. So this is pretty decent. Although I would make the enroll now the part that's colored, and the 20% off would be the one that's white. Also, I'd probably get rid of these little soft shadows. You don't really need those because you already do have a... Well, this background is white, so you could keep them, but maybe just make them gray, not colored. These play buttons are really unusually large, and the type here is a little bit hard to read just because of the green in the back. I like this section. This is a real nice, well-designed little testimonial. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? For me, I'm going to go ahead and rate this one. Let's check out the responsiveness. Yeah, make that the hamburger menu white, not red, because those colors kind of don't really contrast well, especially when it's a small icon like that based on the background. For me, I'm going to give this one, yeah, like a 7.3. I think that would be fair. And it seems like you guys agree for the most part. All right, so one final mention of the sponsor, which is Porkbun, where you can click on the top link of the YouTube description here, and you can get a free .design domain name, which is awesome and very relevant if you're a designer. And if you're watching this, you probably are. So you basically get a free Who Is Privacy, free SSL certificate, hosting trial, and free email as well trial. So definitely check that out. Plus, you get great support. Supporting them supports me and helps me keep on doing these live streams. So we'll be doing a live stream next week, either Friday or Saturday, and then also the week after that for sure. And then we'll see what happens from there. As always, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will... what do you mean you didn't get reviewed? Did you send in a super chat? Let's see if you sent in a super chat. No. Yeah, sorry. That's what happens. A lot of people send in super chats and they get thrust to the beginning of the line. It's just how it is. All right, I'll see you guys all soon.